Hey guys, Life Through Lens here. Yet another episode of Vocal Box. And I want to open this episode up with admitting to a fear. Now, it's kind of a common fear, but I'm afraid of romance. I know it sounds kind of funny hearing that as the fear, per se, but to go into further detail, I guess it's like I'm kind of afraid of being in love. Like I want to be in love, but I'm also afraid of what that entails, what that can kind of bring. Because I've had my fair share of relationships, both good and bad, and I'll admit first-handedly the relationship that I have gotten out of some time ago was not the best. And I feel like it's due to that relationship and also due to other effective relationships, ones that have impacted me most. I feel like it's due to those as to why I'm kind of afraid of diving back into the whole dating realm. Because for a brief moment of time, I did take a break. I did spend some well needed me time before looking back out in the market. And as I'm kind of diving back through, I kind of like think to myself, it's like, is this going to be a proper relationship? Is this going to be the one? Who knows? If anything, I kind of feared that it may also be kind of a repeat. And I mean, at hopes it's not. I'm sure whoever I find will be quite different and hopefully well suited for me. But I think that kind of explains my fear of romance is that I'm afraid that things will not really pan out as well as I thought. Now, there is one thing that I am doing differently this time around with the whole dating scene, and that's taking further more time, kind of going through the whole talking stage, going through more dates if possible, try to learn more about the person, and to especially give the opportunity to make sure that this person is who they are through and through and not just some facade or mask to at hopes accomplish getting a relationship. Because if there's one thing that has happened to me on multiple relationships or for multiple relationships is that for some people that I have dated, it seemingly was all right up until a certain point when things kind of flipped and it didn't seem as proper or healthy as it started off as. It didn't seem as good as it was promised to be, which promise has asterisks around it. So I think definitely this time around, as I'm going on dates and as I'm learning more about people, it's like I want to really ensure that for one, there's a spark and that spark isn't bound to fade. And two, seeing that they're genuine. I want a genuine person who is who they put themselves out to be through and through. Like if they're presenting themselves as a loving, caring, thoughtful person, then I want to be able to see that that is actually them and not just some character that they're trying to put out there to at hopes reel me in and kind of keep me locked in for a good moment. Because as I think back to some relationships, I kind of realize, yeah, some of them lasted way longer than they needed to. Way, way longer. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much overall my fear of romance. Like I'm not afraid to love someone. If anything, I really want to love someone. It's just the fear of am I going to be loved and is that love going to be actually genuine and healthy and not to some degree toxic or fake or imbalanced, if that makes any sense. Like, I'll admit, as fun as it can be being single, it also kind of sucks sometimes. Like, there's moments here and there where I'm like, dang, I wish I could do this thing with another person. Like as an example, I love stargazing, right? And it's fun to be out and about stargazing. I try to pop in some earbuds, listen to some music, kind of look at the stars, see if I can point out any constellations. Even when I'm walking my dog, I do a little bit of stargazing if the skies are clear. But sometimes I kind of think to myself, like, this will be a great moment to have with another person, you know? I know it sounds kind of cliche of like, oh, it's so romantic having you and a significant other underneath the stars and just kind of soaking in your surroundings and soaking in life and having that isolated one-on-one moment. It's like it sounds cliche, but it's really something that I want to experience at some point. It's something that's been on my mind, and hopefully whoever I find is down for that. Because I've always wanted to have that cliche yet kind of sweet moment. Just looking at the stars, and all you have is that moment between you guys and the universe. And that's it. No distractions, no disturbances. It's a moment for both of us to kind of forget what's going on in our lives and just have that really close and intimate feeling. So, yeah, it's like I think I can say outright I'm kind of done being single. I mean, I'm still going to play the patient game because I don't expect to get myself into a relationship, even let alone this year. I mean, if I do, fantastic. I mean, props to me if I pull it off. But I mean, whenever a relationship comes by, I just hope it's a good one. It's worth my while, and most importantly, won't make me look as miserable as Ben Affleck. I'll probably toss a picture up like somewhere around here of Ben Affleck. Otherwise, if I can't find a good picture, which I probably will, I'm sure I will. But if I can't, then for those who know, and if you don't, Google exists. like go to Google, go to whatever search browser you use or search engine. If you know what a search engine is, I hope. I'm sure my demographic is to a degree tech savvy, so I'm sure all of you guys know what a search engine is. And I'm sure a handful of you guys know who Ben Affleck is. So if the picture doesn't give a good reference, then I'm sure a lot of you guys already grasped it like that. So there's that. And after briefly discussing that, I feel like I can go into further topic, and I feel like once I can figure out how to navigate that, then maybe I'll make like its own separate video, whether it be a sit down vlog or if it'll be another vocal box episode. I feel like once I can understand how to describe my fear of romance and like just my feelings overall, unless I can break it down within this episode, then maybe I won't have to. I'll try to kind of break it down. Maybe I'll wrap back around to the topic if I feel like there's enough time for it, or if I don't get too sidetracked. But also, another fun thing, I have notes in front of me, so you'll see me occasionally tapping my phone because I forgot to turn the the auto lock off. I forgot to turn that off, so every 5 minutes or so my phone's going to try to sleep. So if you see me reaching forward, it's me tapping it to keep it awake because I need to see my notes. But yeah, if I can figure out how to explain it within this episode, then I'll try to wrap back around to it. If not, then maybe I'll try to figure out how to further explain it in another video. But I guess for now, to kind of not quite resolve or more so, like, I don't know, it's not quite a conclusion or resolution. I guess it's just a little tidbit or a little addition to this. I have been going out And so far, it's not too bad of an experience. So far, I haven't ran into a bad person. And I will say this first and foremost, I'm not going to make it too obvious because I also fear that, like you see, there's another component. I fear that it's not mutual, or I fear that I may be jumping the gun. So I'm not going to state who, but I will say so far there is a couple of people that I have in mind that I find to be quite attractive. Maybe it's obvious to some of those people, maybe it's not. One way to find out, I guess. But to either one of those, I don't want to rush things. I want to take my time. I want to take it slow, and I want to ensure that there's a good foundation and that there's a everlasting spark between us and that the feelings are most definitely mutual. So, for anyone that can put the pieces together, no worries. Willing to take as much time as possible. And if it turns out not to be mutual, then I mean, hey, I wouldn't mind having some more friends. So, only time will tell, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, there is definitely an attraction, like a hefty attraction to a couple of those people. I'm not going to name the names. I'm not going to make it obvious. But for those who know, I guess. And if it's to either one of those people, sorry. I don't know how to really disclose that. But yeah, so far, not too bad of an experience. Kind of putting myself out there. Still kind of taking my time and taking up more opportunities before I like finally say that this person is the person I want to go after. Because I don't want to make anything like definite yet. I don't want to make anything definitive. I still want to kind of keep an open mind, kind of see what's out there, what's to be offered, see what clicks more than the other before I sit down, have a moment with myself, and say, yep, this specific person is the one I want to go after. Or this is the specific person where my heart's at. Because yeah, I feel attracted to people, but that's also a natural human thing. Unless you're a person that doesn't find easy attraction or just doesn't feel attracted, then I guess you're on that end of the spectrum of feeling. It is what it is. But for most people, yeah, it's like feeling attracted to others. That's a very common thing. That's a very natural thing. But to feel like a feeling within you, that warm feeling, the butterflies anytime you speak to a person, to feel that is a more further in-depth thing. That's not surface level. That's not just a, oh yeah, that person's cute, or oh yeah, I can see myself dating that person. No, that's a feeling within yourself saying I should strive for that person. I should try to date that person. So I'm gonna kind of wait and see when, if and when that presents itself. I guess that kind of helped further discuss all of that. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's another fear is if it's not mutual or if I accidentally kind of step too far out doing so. Like I'm trying not to, and whoever I speak to, if there is even like the slightest bit of like a hint that I do have an attraction to them, I try to like kind of pull it back a little, and I kind of show a little bit of hesitancy because I'm like, what if I do overstep, or what if I do go a little too fast? Because I try not to act on my feelings too hard. I try to still think logically and try to keep myself open minded and not heavily invest myself into someone quite yet. That's another reason why I want to take things slow. Because in the past, I've taken things at a moderate pace, sometimes a little too fast. But between that fast and moderate, I kind of find myself already invested just simply based off of like the first feeling instead of kind of like instating that yes, this is for sure what to strive for. So this time around, I want to make sure that I don't accidentally jump the gun just by feeling some form of investment. I think to kind of transition to the next topic, although it's kind of a vastly different topic, I've been thinking about branching out to other forms of content. And to branch out, it's going to kind of take me completely veering away from this format. And it's not necessarily me diving on off of the deep end. I mean, what I have planned for this channel is already quite a dive, but what I'm thinking of doing is making another channel made for gaming, because what I find myself doing almost on a daily basis is playing video games. And sometimes I think to myself, hey, wouldn't it be fun to kind of make gaming videos, or like have like a funny moments? Like, remember the days when funny moments was a thing, where it's just like a montage of all like the funniest clips out of like whatever video, or the funniest bits that the content creator deems as funny out of each recording session. I kind of want to do stuff like that, where it's like funny moment montages, gameplay videos, so on and so forth. Because another form of content that I myself tend to watch is gaming related, walkthroughs, or just whatever funny shenanigans the player goes up to, whether they're doing it solo or with a group of friends. I kind of just thought, why not kind of venture off into that? I'm not fully concrete on the idea. I want to first put out this big idea that I have planned for this channel first. I want to get that out the way. And then once I feel like that's got some motion to it, or once that's kind of on the tracks and starting to move, then eventually I want to also branch off and make a separate channel for video games, and then kind of just go from there. I don't know how often I'd record there as in comparison to this channel, because as it's seen, Vocal Box is like my easiest like segment or format that I put onto this channel. It's the easiest. It's like it may be the most time consuming compared to some of the other stuff I do for this channel. At least as of right now, standing, it's the only time consuming thing, or the biggest time consuming thing, because as you see in some of these videos, yeah, it's like up to 30 minutes worth, maybe even more, of like footage and audio recording. So that is quite a good handful of time. Unless it's like a video that I film over a certain duration, then yeah, that's even more time consuming. And then on top of that, there's editing, which also at times takes a good couple of hours before it's like, the final touches are done, and then I send it out. But I feel like with gaming, it might also help me open up to more editing. It might help me like widen my horizon, be more expansive as to how I edit videos, instead of just cutting it, dropping a picture in, or dropping in like a audio sample or whatever you want to call it in. I feel like it can take a whole lot more editing, like subtitling, maybe certain forms of transitioning, or like funny effects they add to it. Kind of like, for those who have seen the 5th episode, the holiday special, kind of like that. Like, that was also another opportunity where I've sat down, edited a little bit more, and just kind of spruced it up a little bit and try to add some more humor to it, versus me kind of in a raw, authentic form, on the spot, putting in humor. Like for that episode, it was kind of pre-planned. I mean, I didn't have it written out anywhere. I didn't specifically plan when in the video I would do it, but in my mind, kind of thought, oh yeah, let me just drop this reference in there, or let me drop that reference. Let me think of this picture to add to it, or that picture. You know, those were kind of to a degree pre-planned stuff to kind of make things funny, versus like, oh yeah, I should tell this funny thing or that funny thing, or oh, I should tell this funny story. Because by no means am I a comedian. As much as I've thought about doing open mic and diving into comic work, I don't necessarily see myself as a funny person unless I preemptively plan everything and really make sure that it's a funny thing, a funny piece of work. Sometimes I can naturally be funny, I will admit, but most of the time I don't necessarily see myself funny enough to stand on stage and be funny, or to stand in front of the camera and be funny as a comic. Not to that standard. Let's see, we are clocking in at about 20 minutes. Let's see, is there anything else I want to get off my mind? I think in the previous episode, I stated that the on Friday I'll either do another vocal box episode and kind of do it in the same fashion as episode 5, or I'll do a vlog for it. Or kind of like a third idea, and I'm inspired by the artist Logic, if any of you guys know who that is. Known for making Under Pressure, No Pressure, the famous tracks such as 1-800 and Every Day. If you know who that artist is, he, for his project No Pressure, there was this specific track called Heard 'Em Say. And for those who really know about music, No Pressure was supposed to be the retirement album, indefinite, stepping away from music, done. Heard 'Em Say came with a montage of all types of pictures and clips of like his family, his friends, great moments. I thought about doing something similar like that for my birthday, because a lot of people see their 21st birthday as like a very big and impactful birthday. It's a very life changing moment, or it's almost like a pivoting point within their life. So I thought about, gathering whatever pictures, making a little montage out of it, so on and so forth, of just kind of like my life outside of YouTube, or even within YouTube, you know, within it, outside of it. Maybe I'll take footage or pictures from whatever adventures or whatever videos that didn't quite make the cut and just compile them into a montage. That's kind of like the third idea. So, first one, another vocal box episode. Second one, just a straight up vlogging that whole day, maybe the weekend in addition to that. And third one, a montage. By no means will I do all three of those, because no. I mean, I can at least do two of those, and it could be any of those as a set pair, but by no means will I do all three of those. That is just a major no for me. Let's see, this should be about a good amount for this episode. So, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like or leave a dislike if you didn't like the video. If you do leave a dislike, why? Just why? Have a heart. I don't know. Like, can you really relax? Can you find entertainment entertaining? Why are you finding this dislikable? And then, if you feel like sharing any thoughts, whether it's in regards to the first topic or into the second topic, then let me know down in the comments. Create a discussion. If you feel like there's anything I can do within this setting, such as lighting, like should I readjust the lighting? Should I get a darker setting, a brighter setting? Should I change the color of the lights? Because one fun fact, it appears my card is full, so now I'm not going to be recording. So insert whatever here. I don't know, maybe I'll run it blank. I'll leave a black screen for the rest of this, because I really don't feel like putting in another SD card and turning it back on the camera. But yeah, if you have any additives to the first topic about romance and how scary it can be, let me know down in the comments. And then as for the idea of starting a gaming channel, definitely let me know if you guys would like to see that, or if you guys would migrate over to a channel like that for from time to time and view whatever video games I would want to play. And then another important thing, definitely share with anyone that you feel would find this kind of content fascinating, or if you know of anyone that kind of likes to let stuff play in the background, or maybe if it's a person that just needs some company sometimes, be sure to share this video or, in fact, share the whole channel to them. And most importantly, if you are a new viewer, be sure to click the subscribe button and most definitely click the notification bell. That way you do not miss a single video whenever I upload, especially for weeks like this where I run a whole streak or a marathon of content uploads where it's a daily thing. Apart from that, this is Life Through a Lens, signing off.